Now, what do you think about emergency response in Kenya? Today, we bring you ResQpal, an innovation that has come to disrupt this place, not just in health, but in safety and across the board. You are rightly tuned in to Take on Tech. We have this and much more for you. The hashtag is Take on Tech at KBC Channel 1. My name is Stephanie Ayeta. Tonight on Take on Tech, we explore how technology is reshaping lives, empowering communities, and strengthening emergency response systems across Kenya. From university students assembling computers that will power digital hubs nationwide, to efforts aimed at ensuring the deaf community is not left behind in the digital revolution, and finally, to a groundbreaking Kenyan innovation transforming emergency response services. This is a story of innovation, inclusion, and impact. Kenya's digital transformation agenda continues to gather momentum, and young people are increasingly taking center stage in driving this vision forward. At Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, students are now playing a direct role in supporting the country's expanding digital infrastructure by participating in the assembly of computers designed for digital hubs across the nation. Inside the university's assembly spaces, students carefully piece together computer components, gaining hands-on experience that goes far beyond classroom theory. The initiative is not only supporting government efforts to expand digital access, but it's also equipping students with practical technical skills that are becoming increasingly essential in today's digital economy.
We are looking at 1,450 wards, and each to have an average of 50 to 100 devices. So this university got a tender to assemble 3,000 pieces, and the other ones are 7,000 from Moi University, Eldoret. And we're hoping that besides what I have seen, that we should be able to get the universities to assemble broken down parts, components, solder them here, so that in future we can say this was made in JKUAT. So besides what we are doing here, we want to make sure that the next level is to get parts and assemble them here, so that the entire computer is assembled here. And that's where we want to take this forward, so that we can get these devices to Kenyans. You know that we want to improve the digital economy, which contributes about 8 to 9% of our GDP, to take it to 20, 25 towards 30. China is the best that is at about 38%. So we're hoping that with the vibrant young population we have, we should be able to get these devices up and running. Every digital hub will create jobs for youth, because they will be used as training centers. So you train, and then we avail, cash for buying your own tablet, your own computer, so that you can do what you have learned in these digital hubs at home. We also are encouraging young boys and girls to start digital hubs of their own from wherever it is they are. If you're in Meru, rent a floor of one of the buildings in Meru, get together 20 or 30 of them, and get machine loan from government so that they can have their own machines. And it's not a machine that you will take off and sell. We have the capacity to lock it so that it cannot be used by anyone else. So if you don't pay, then we lock it. So far, what I've seen is good, and I think we should be able as government to assist them do better and do more. If they have like 5 or 6 lines like this, there will be more young boys and girls, again, employed by the university. And others, they train for us to take them to the digital hubs, because these digital hubs have 50 to 100 computers. Something is bound to go wrong with machines. Who will repair them? We should be able to get these ones who are here to work in these digital hubs to be able to carry out service and repair. Wajipange sisi na sisi tuwapange, because that's why we are doing this for them. Is to create employment. You know, we have an issue. Not everyone will be able to get a blue-collar job, but you know that people are making a lot of money. I saw was it Dennis? He told me last night, saying that someone has earned 57 million content creation. This is something that was unheard of in Kenya more than 2 years ago. So there is capacity even to grow rich on the digital economy platform. So we want to encourage them that people say you cannot start a business without money, but we are saying you can start a business on the digital economy without a lot of money.
For me, it's an excitement for my students to be here, and we are very, very proud of this plant. And today we are really honored that our CS could come and be with us and really see what we are doing here. And we want to also appeal to him if he can consider us, as he said, for the free zone. We would be so happy. We are capable of assembling more. This facility can assemble even more, and we are even moving to a bigger space. Yeah, we have another facility out of here, which is just for this institute, so that we can produce more computers. We are very well supported by, you heard, by our government. We are supported by our partners. We have ICT Authority here, which we are partnering with very well, and also Konza. This is a project by the three of us, and we are working very well.
As the country pushes toward greater digital connectivity, such initiatives are expected to play a major role in ensuring that local talent is not only consuming technology, but actively building and sustaining it. The involvement of students in these assembly lines reflect a growing shift toward local innovation, technical empowerment, and the development of homegrown expertise capable of supporting Kenya's expanding digital ecosystem. But while digital transformation continues to open opportunities, stakeholders are warning that inclusion must remain at the center of these efforts. In Garissa, calls are growing louder for the deaf community to be integrated into the digital future. Advocates say that unless accessibility is prioritized, thousands of persons with hearing impairment risk being left behind as technology continues to shape economies and societies. Speaking during the closing of a 3-day digital literacy training at Garissa Government Guest House, Science Media founder and managing director Luke Muleka emphasized the urgent need for governments, technology companies, and development partners to ensure that digital programs are accessible to everyone, regardless of disability.
For the deaf people, we've been finalizing a program whereby the deaf have been undergoing this training. And this training, we've been trying to make them understand that everything has shifted. How to get on e-citizen, because the government services have moved to the digital platform. We are trying to make them that if you want an ID, you are likely to get it on the digital platform. If you want your certificate of good conduct, you are likely to get it on the digital platform. If you want to apply for the council's certificate of persons with disabilities digital platform, KRA tax compliance or digital platform. So it's very important that we have the deaf also getting involved in this space of digital literacy, because a lot of services have moved. If we leave them, then we are leaving no one behind and not aspiring to the sustainable development goals of 2030 of leaving no one behind. The deaf are now, we can say they are now literate. They know the basics of digital literacy. We've taken them through the training and they are very happy as they have responded to the interviews that they have been able to have. And as we go forward, we are going to engage them because we want to engage as many deaf people as possible in this particular program. In addition, sign language interpreters who we have been training today are also now aware that they have been opened up to new job opportunities through the app, whereby wherever they are, as long as you are on the app and you are getting, you are able to be on the data platform, you realize that a call will come through whereby you are supposed to serve a deaf person, and you are able to serve these deaf people when not moving out of your house, at the comfort of your house. So we are doing a holistic approach to digital literacy, whereby we are creating opportunities for employment, we are providing services, and also making the deaf know that the services of the government has shifted, and the government made sure that all the agencies, and we are talking about in the excess of I would say in the excess of 5,000 have moved to the digital platform. And if the deaf are left behind, then they are not going to access those services. The deaf have, and this one is something they raised to the health director of health, that their assessment has been taking time. But this was assured that it has actually been devolved now. They are able to get this service at the county level. But now the government also assured them that some of these assessment services that were having challenges, especially with the machines, they were assured that these services have come to the county, and they're able to access now the assessment services quickly. The deaf were feeling that they have been left out in terms of training, because they told us this is the first time they've been taken through this type of training, the digital literacy training, which we feel is very important, but because they have been feeling left out in terms of development, as other people are being taken through the development agenda, they have been left. And we feel that this is a real conversation that we should carry to the national level, whereby the deaf are supposed to be reached out to wherever they are, so that they are supported. Thank you.
Also, they have been able to train the members or the nurses and the doctors on how to serve the deaf people when they go to hospital using the sign language app. Initially, the deaf members of this community had challenges in that sometimes they could have gone to hospital, but when an interpreter is far, it was a challenge for them to access what? Medical services. But currently, because of this app, which has sign language interpreters, a deaf person can go to the hospital, then using the mobile phone or that app, I can be able to interpret for a deaf person while far away from the hospital, which is what? A plus for the deaf people. I want to thank Science TV, SEM, UK government, and county government of Garissa, the Ministry of ICT for training us about services that we can be able to access in the means of health. I want to thank why? Because before, when we used to go to hospital, there was no sign language interpreter. But now, because of Science TV, they have also been able to train the doctors. So when you go to hospitals, there's what? Sign language interpreters. All the community, it doesn't have, it's not aware of what? Sign language. So Science TV has trained many people how to communicate with the deaf people. Same. When you go to e-citizen services, so it's not matter that I go to Nairobi offices, no. Nairobi is very far, which is very expensive, but here they have relieved us. We only just do what? Use our telephone, then you access the what? E-citizen services. So before we had challenges, but now there's no challenge because you're going to just use what? Our mobile phone. So before you go to Nairobi for assessment, but now everything is here. So we want to say thank you for training us. Thank you.
Emergencies often strike without warning, and in many cases, delays in accessing help can mean the difference between life and death. It is this reality that inspired the creation of ResQpal, a Kenyan emergency response platform designed to connect people in distress with trusted emergency service providers quickly and efficiently. Through its mobile application and website, ResQpal allows users to access vetted ambulance services, firefighting support, vehicle recovery assistance, and security response whenever emergencies occur. Speaking to the founder, she explained that the platform was developed to access persistent challenges facing many Kenyans during emergencies, including delayed response times, lack of trust in emergency systems, and financial barriers that often prevent people from accessing urgent medical care.
Our aim is to make awareness of the importance of first aid, fire evacuation, safety and self-defense. And at the same time, develop a tool. After training an individual, we give them a tool that they can actually use. And it's very personalized and all-rounded. So we are looking at medical evacuation, we're looking at fire, security, finding help, like police stations and such. Okay, you have been rescued, what happens then? Because when we say emergency response, most people think of evacuations alone. Logistics is not the main concern that has actually, if I would say, that has brought the mistrust between the consumer and the providers, the service providers in our country, has actually been the systems behind it that are not supporting one another. So you've given me a ride to the hospital, but you've not secured how I'm going to be handed over to a hospital. That becomes a challenge. So you've given me a ride, logistics is covered, but the service has not been initiated. I've received first aid, but now after first aid becomes actually treatment, analysis, diagnosis, take me to the radiology side. So when ResQpal came into the picture, we're not here to compete. We are here to try and bring back the confidence to the community about the already existing and years after us, the upcoming systems that will actually improve emergency response, because it cannot be singly handled by one organization or company.
At the heart of the platform is an ambulance coordination system aimed at improving efficiency and restoring public confidence in emergency healthcare services. Under the system, subscribers can access immediate ambulance support through affordable service plans designed to cater to different financial capabilities. One of the platform's unique features is that users and their families are allowed to choose their preferred hospitals during emergencies, giving them greater control and peace of mind at critical moments. This approach seeks to challenge the perception that ambulance services prioritize specific hospitals based on commission arrangements rather than patient preference. But ResQpal goes beyond ambulance coordination. The innovation has also introduced rescue cabs, a transport solution tailored specifically for individuals with recurring medical needs. The service functions similarly to ride-hailing applications, but is designed to support patients who require regular hospital visits, example for dialysis, routine treatment, or ongoing medical checkup.
We've put so many tools within the app. You can find your nearest police station, you can find your nearest hospital, possibly see the kind of payment options they have if it's within your budget. You can compare, you can book through us. On the application, you have mental health support. We are talking about alerts whereby users can communicate with one another and alerting each other on the important things to keep in mind. Like there's an accident on Gongro, there's an accident in town, there's a protest. So those are the kind of alerts that we are giving out. If we look at how accidents happen within, let's say, a city or a town in Africa, or specifically in Kenya, when an accident happens, the first people on the scene are normally riders or pedestrians. At most, let's call it about 90%. So when we have our riders on the ground, they are already in communication with the other riders on the ground. So they are either called to help before an ambulance arrives, or they also, in their own errands, when they're doing deliveries, when they're doing drop-offs, they actually meet with accidents and they can jump in and perform first aid, put the patient in a recovery position as we wait. If no one on the site has actually called for an emergency responder, we get to do it, because the rider calls us and tells us, I'm here, there has been an accident and there's no ambulance that has been already called for. Can we get someone? And that's how we proceed to actually calling for an emergency responder within the area. Because there is a challenge of calling an ambulance that is coming from a different constituency. So for the issues of time, we study the area, the operational areas for close to most ambulances within Nairobi. And hence that becomes an easier way to say, oh, rider, we can see a certain company is next to you, let us send them to you.
The onboarding process has also been designed to remain simple, user-friendly, making the platform accessible even to individuals with limited technological experience.
One thing that I've gotten from this show, and it is quite clear, is that partnership is critical between communities, the government, the corporates. Everyone needs to come on board if we want to make Kenya better. The emergency response situation, the system needs to be better. What is your take from today's show? The hashtag is Take on Tech at KBC Channel 1. I will see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, keep innovating.